Hey guys, it's SF, and today it's going to be a start of a new series. I know a lot of people are really excited about the trials, and it really helps new people. But these are comments and stuff from people that are already past that level, past that point. So this time, I'm starting a brand new account, quote unquote, brand new account. This is not going to affect any of my other accounts. This is not going to replace my main. It's not going to replace my sub. It's just this account is just for this series only, and that's to teach people how to play Monster Strike, and especially for the beginners who don't know anything. Hopefully, this video gets out to them. If you're wanting to show a friend, then show this video. Show them show them, because this video is going to teach them how to play Monster Strike and how to play Monster Strike correctly, I guess, or how to play Monster Strike without really dragging you down a lot. And I got past the tutorial right now, and this is going to be my first hatcher shot. And my rule for this account is that I'm going to solo everything. I am not going to have any help from my line group, not going to have any help from my local, so nothing from my main, nothing from my sub, and only use the resources that I have within the game. So basically my own stamina, online co-op, global co-op, and that's pretty much it. And of course all the ores that I gain throughout, whether it's from the mail that they give us or from the missions, and of course I'm not going to spend any money. So this is my first hatcher for right after you finish the tutorial, and let's do it. The first hatcher is going to be pretty much the same hatcher as everything, and you either get a 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star. Hopefully I get a 5-star because that's the highest rank, but I'm gonna start regardless no matter what. If you guys want to start off with a 5-star monster, there is rerolling procedures that you can take, but I am not going to. And I got a 5-star. That was not really intended, because I want to show that I can beat the trials, go through the trials with 4-star monsters. I'll probably leave. This is Nanami. She is a no gravity barrier monster. These abilities and stuff will be a lot more clear once we get through the trials. But if you roll like a Nanami or any 5-star monster, I suggest keep it. But if you roll a 4-star monster, you can retry it, or you can not. I'm gonna not use Nanami at all. Whatsoever. I'm not going to level her up. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to use her to help me anything. And it says to edit my team, but I'm going to edit it out afterwards, once we get into the dungeons. Okay, adventure time. Hopefully I can switch out when I can actually get in. But the first stage is basically the same. And nope, I cannot edit out. I guess I'll use Nanami for the first stage and then edit it out. That was not expected. But the first level, so this video is going to cover from the first level to the last level, right before the final boss, which is the Silversaurus. But first, so what I expect from players right now at this point is to know the tutorial, know about bump combos, know about Pierce monsters, because that's all in the tutorial. So I'm gonna speed past this. Now this stage has a thing called conveyors. They speed up your monster when you push your monsters through them, or like move your monsters through them. So there's a speed up, and I speed up, and I move around really fast. There are different types of conveyors, but this stage only has speed ups. There are blue ones. There are blue conveyors that will slow your monsters down, so you have to avoid them. Some stages do have slowed down, like conveyors that slow you down, and then there's some that just somewhat speeds you up. So just take note of that. For this video, for the Mount Hazard, it's just a matter of basic things. So basic knowledge. So later on you'll see other gimmicks and stuff. And trial tip, so if monsters cooldown hits 0, then they attack. That's nothing that new, I hope. Let's take some damage. As you see, I took some damage. It's not that bad because it is relatively easy. And as you can see, I can use the conveyors to speed up and move my monsters around. If you move more, then of course you get more attacks. And you can proc more bump combos. Relatively... I hope this is relatively easy. I hope everybody knows stuff. If you don't, then leave it in the comments and stuff like that. If you don't really know how stuff works. I'll get to items later on in the future, but the top one right now, there is a hourglass thing, which lowers the cooldown on your strike shots, which is the number 6 right now for Nanami right here. Her original is 15 turns, but if I take it now, it reduced to 3, and it'll help you increase your, it'll get you to use more powerful attacks later. More powerful attacks faster. Okay, striker introduction is done. And you get some XP, and then I level up or rank up. Okay. I am not going to add any friends at all as well. So even if you know my ID, then I won't be adding you. And always check your inbox for stuff. Right now there are some event stuff. There is a welcome to Monster Strike GIF. I get 10 orbs, that's awesome. I'll hatch it. I'll use it to hatch in the beginning. Some might say to not use your orbs really fast, but I say go for it. Especially if you got a 5-star monster, it's better to have more variety. Even if it's a 4-star monster, I suggest to just bring it now, because you still need to move along or else you will be stuck. And of course missions, there's also missions where you can get orbs and stuff. So you get 5 orbs completing the tutorial, so that's another 5. And striker introduction, beating it will give you 15 redstones, which is used for evolving, what happens when you evolve to your Jabanero during the tutorial stage. And then there's a lot of stuff you can do, like vote, do all this stuff, and get Oregon. I suggest get Oregon just for the because he is a very good monster just in case of stats. Some of your monsters early on don't have really good stats, and of course your levels not that high. So I suggest just have Oregon there just for some stats, just to get some extra HP there. And I'm gonna hatch the 20 orbs that I got. These are the 20 orbs outside of 5, which is from the new update. But you know, I'm gonna roll 4 and build my box, which I think is really important. Now if you solo, you have a chance of a 3-star monster, which is a silver egg. If you do a 10 shot, then you get guaranteed 4-star or above, which is golden eggs. And I got a Hanuman. Not that great early on because you want some null abilities. These guys have slayers, which I'll get to during the source video. And I got a 3-star. 3-star you generally should avoid at all times, because they don't really bring anything. They don't have really good stats, and they don't have any abilities. So you can sell them if you want. I suggest do not sell your 4-star monsters, even if when you're starting out. And I got another 3-star, which is not that great. The current hatcher is a max stash, so whatever monster comes out, their levels are maxed. And last one, hopefully a 4-star or above. And I got another 5-star. Okay, this account is really godly for no reason at all. And I Mecha Morty, she is a no gravity barrier monster. So I guess that's another monster to not use in the near future. So I'm gonna switch out my Nanami and bring out my Hanuman. Really good. I guess it's kind of cheating because you won't get max dash all the time, so it's kind of cheating. I'm sorry, but of course, if you roll the 5-star monster, then you can just if you roll a 5-star monster, then it has the same stats as a max level 4-star monster. So yeah, and I already did that. Next one is gonna be Beware the Walls, and there's gonna be gimmicks. There's gonna be a new gimmick called damage walls. So damage walls, I'll get to it more in game, but monsters you should always choose is monsters called no damage wall monsters. So in this case, it is this monster, which is called SST Cherry Winger, and as you can see, she is a no damage wall monster. So during quests with damage walls in them, or mainly damage walls with them, bring no damage wall monsters. That's all you have to know right now. I know some of you guys who are watching this might be a little bit too basic, but once we get into the other trials, I'll get more in depth into the actual mechanics of those gimmicks, like how to avoid them better, how to take the least damage and all that stuff. But for now, for all you guys who are beginning, when you see damage walls, bring no damage wall monsters. And if you're wondering like how I know without actually going in, that's where like internet comes in. Look up guides to dungeons and stuff. So for damage walls come out from monsters or shields or drones. I'll probably put a graphic up. And the monster that shoots out damage walls is this ninja dude, the purple ninja dude on the top left. So if you don't have all your monsters with no damage walls, then take out the demon first. And sadly, he shoots out damage walls, and like I said, beware damage walls. If you hit them, then you take health, and then bring no damage wall monsters to avoid them, basically. So as you can see, that's fine. I guess I'll attack it with a cherry here and probably keep on going. Now the damage wall monster for this stage is this cheetah looking dude. So usually the gimmicks that shoots out damage walls are fixed. So I'll probably put up the images of all the monsters that shoot out damage walls, so that most of the time, if you see damage wall dungeons and you know that damage walls are in that dungeon, you can focus on those guys because it's most likely that they will shoot out the damage walls. Okay. Next. Now there are shields. You can bring a shield breaker to break them. That's mostly for star monsters. Sadly, I didn't roll any shield breakers from the hatcher. And yeah. So you can clear them by using a shield breaker or just avoiding them in general. For starters, they usually shoot out like once. Shoot out one wall, but once you get into harder difficulties, they go from like 2 to 4 at all times, depending on what level you are or what level of difficulty dungeon it is. And boss time. And of course, drones the same thing with shields. So, but they need a monsters with drone breaker. And then the top right check shoots out damage walls as well. And since my Hanuman is not a no damage wall monster, so I have to be careful to not attack, deal damage, move my monsters to the damage wall. And then there's a strike shot. I guess I'll use a strike shot. This one speeds up in power. Speeds up, right? increases speed and strength. So I'm just gonna go random. I thought it'll kill. Oh, it almost killed her. And then you can see me just Cherry just not take any damage from the damage wall because she is a no damage wall monster, and I'll use Jumping Arrows as well. It's the same thing as my water one. So that's damage walls, guys. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this, but maybe I'll split it up. But I'm just gonna go this all in one run. In terms of recording, I might split it up into sections for this Mount Hazard. And get all this. And I ranked up, which is awesome. Okay, next trial quest is Careful of Mines. So mines, there's a lot of different ways to deal with mines. There are two different abilities that can deal with mines. One is Flight, and the other one is Minesweeper. And looks like none of my monsters, my friend list monsters, have Minesweeper or Flight. Salamander is definitely not a Flight or Minesweeper. So sadly, is my Nanami a Flight? Let me check. It's always good to check your monsters to see what abilities they have. I'm pretty sure Nanami doesn't have a Flight. Pretty sure. No, she doesn't. Of course not. Why am I? I'm like stupid right now. Anyways, Flight or Mine Sweeper monsters. And let's use a random monster. Let's use Shingen. Takeda Shingen. He is a no gravity bearing monster. That's all you really need to know right now. Don't think about like the strike shot, the bomb combo yet. For starters, just know the gimmicks and what they do, and how it affects them, and how to prevent bad things happening to you. So how to deal with it. So Careful of Mines. So mine shoots out. So there's gonna be mines scattered around the dungeon. Mine shoots out from little drone machines. These little mobs that shoot out mines. So which is on the top left and the top right. So if you don't have any mine sweepers or flight monsters, then take care of them immediately. And the difference between flight and minesweeper, flight, I'll put out the mines now and show you. Okay, do you see mines? So mines, they have their own separate cooldown. If the cooldown goes to 0, then it'll explode and then it'll deal damage to a monster within that area. If you have a flight monster, well, actually, I'll just move towards one of them. It says not to take damage from it, not to move over it, but I just want to show you that you'll take damage. And the difference between flight and minesweeper is that flight can move over them and not take any damage and not explode them, but and minesweeper, they will actually sweep the mines and use it in their own arsenal, kind of thing. So they will take the mine, and the next monster they attack will deal extra damage. They'll deal extra damage, and each minesweeper monster can hold up to 3 mines at a time. Even if you sweep more, it will not overflow. It will not take in more, and you'll just use that mine to waste. Generally, you don't really have to worry about overflowing or sweep certain amount of mines so that you don't waste mines when you're attacking, because the damage increase is not that great unless you get to some specific monsters, which I'm not really going to talk about. And as you can see, there's different color mine machines. Unlike the damage wall monsters, which are like totally different monsters, these guys are just color coded, which is awesome. So if you know a dungeon has mines, so bring either flight or minesweeper monsters. Some will recommend minesweepers over flight just because the cooldowns on each of these mines are low. So like if there's mines like on the top left with the 3 and they explode really soon, but you don't have enough time to actually clear the stage and move on, then you would want some minesweepers. But if it's like stuff that are like the bottom left with the 6, then you don't really have to worry about it that much. You just bring flight monsters and then you can take care of the boss within 6 turns, and then you don't have to take any damage. So flight minesweeper deals with mines. Don't step on mines. That's the basic gist. Some dungeons will have more powerful mines in terms of damage when they explode. Some don't. So just look up guides if you have trouble, or just take it in yourself and see if you should avoid it or not. And another thing is that even if the mines explode, it doesn't matter what monster it is, it'll still take damage. Even if the monster is a flight or a minesweeper, if somebody else steps on the mine and they explode and it'll hit that monster with the flight or minesweeper, you'll still take the damage. You'll still take more damage. And I ranked up again. And next trial. Gravity Slam. Gravity Slam is gravity barriers, so bring no gravity barrier monsters. Very, very simple. And I'll bring this no gravity barrier monster. Her name is Sana Yukimura. So as you can see, no gravity barrier. Bring no gravity barrier monsters is really relatively easy. And then even some of my monsters that I've rolled are no gravity barrier monsters. So like my Nanami is a no gravity barrier monster, and my Mecha is also a no gravity barrier monster. But I won't be using them just because it's kind of cheating, in my opinion. And Gravity Slam, basically no gravity barrier monsters. There's going to be gravity barriers once we get into it. As you can see, there are gravity barriers. So if I move towards them, my monsters will decrease speed. And also, these barriers sometimes overlap, just as you can see here. If they overlap, it will reduce it even slower. So if you want to compare between my Smydra and my Hanamoon, do they show stats? They don't show stats, but my Smydra took 2 hits. I can hit monsters twice with a single barrier, but my Hanamoon can't, and Hanamoon has a higher speed than Smydra. I can tell you that. So let's do Smydra, although I did get a good attack there. So that cleared it, but you generally don't want to bring no gravity barrier monsters to gravity barrier dungeons. If not, then it'll be harder for your monsters to move, and you won't get enough attacks off, and you might die from attacks from other enemies. And this is going to be really stressful because I can hardly move with my monsters. As you can see, I can barely attack. And if you remember how my Sana Yukima just wrecked the mini boss from the last first stage, but good thing she is a no gravity barrier monster, so she can move around very easily. Of course, she is the strongest out of the team, so that's another reason why the monsters are dying so fast. But just bring no gravity barrier monsters to gravity barriers. Really easy. There's not many monsters that shoots out gravity barriers. There are some, but those are like really special cases. There's only like a handful of dungeons that do that. Usually they will be out like during the stage, right when you enter the stage, so you know where the gravity barriers show and how to avoid. Well, I guess you can't really avoid it, but you can position your monsters, but that's really advanced techniques and stuff. and boss. But gravity barriers are just there to really annoy you and not really annoy you. They don't really do more damage to you. They don't do damage to you, but it'll make you last longer in the stage, which the enemies will get more time to shoot attacks on you, and your health decreases more, and then you can possibly die and all that stuff. So even if you don't have a full team of gravity barriers, there's only monsters that have gravity barriers around you. If that monster dies, then the gravity barrier goes with them. So if you don't have a full team of no gravity barrier monsters, then just use those no gravity barrier monsters to defeat the mobs with the gravity barriers. In that case, then for that reason, the gravity barriers will go away, and then your other monsters can move around. There are, of course, stages where all monsters have gravity barriers, so those stages bring all no gravity barrier monsters. There's no excuses. That's why building a good box is really good. Even if you don't have all 6-star monsters, 4-star monsters also works. 4-star monsters also work like a lot. It will make a difference in my opinion. It's just a matter of your resources. I know a lot of starters don't have a lot of resources in terms of leveling your monsters or giving them morlings. But like I said, that's why I'm doing this series, in that I start out with the same resources as you. I might get a little bit lucky in the hatcher, so that's why I'm kind of like handicapping myself and stuff like that. So so that we're somewhat on a level playing field. And then next hazard is here and there, and which is warps. You'll need no warp monsters. I think Lindsay, this version is a no warp monster. Please tell me it's a no warp monster. Yep. Okay, no warp monster. So warps bring no warp monsters, and that's Lindsay or Lindsay. Let's go. It's relatively straightforward. There are warps. There's gonna be warps. Okay, loading. Okay, no warps. There's gonna be monsters. The mobs that shoot out warps is these guys, the lion dudes. It's a little bit harder than like the drone guys, because they're color coded this time. There are different monsters in general. So let's shoot out the warps. And they shoot out 3 warps. So yeah, falling into warp puts a damper on the best planned shot. So it really hinders your movement. Kind of like gravity barriers. But this time it's more random. Like with gravity barriers, they just slow down. Your monsters slow down, but you can still get some attacks. With warps, if you don't have no warp monsters, then you won't get attacks off in general, unless you know the advanced techniques of warps, which I'll get onto later on in the series. But later on in the series, I'll talk about like the advanced mechanics of the warps and stuff. So hold on until then. And of course, I'll put out the images of monsters that shoot out warps. In this case, this time is the bottom one, the bottom gargoyle looking dude. Sadly, I'm not turn-wise. My warp monsters, my no warp monsters, are not doing well. I don't have warps during their turns. Okay. Next stage. The warp monster. Now there's our drones. There's a top left thing is a drone. It's classified as a drone, which you've seen in the damage wall section. These drones shoot out warps as well, and in order to break them, you need drone breakers. If you don't have drone breakers, then you have to take the gimmick. And just like shield breakers, drone breakers will drone breakers are only 4-star monsters. Most of them. There are strike shots from 6-star monsters that break drones, but that's something that you'll find out later on once you get used to the game. And there we go. Boss time. And there are two warp monsters. One's on the top left, one's on the bottom right. Okay. So I'm just shooting really randomly. I guess I'll use some strike shots. Actually, I'll use Linz's strike shot. What's Linz's strike shot? It's a bash, so not that bad. Okay. For bash, you just try to shoot to the weak spot. And that's it. So those are warps, so basically bring no warp monsters. If you don't, then you'll hinder your movements and not get enough damage as you planned and basically miss your shots, basically. Okay, and I think that's the last one before the Silversaurus. The Silversaurus stage and rank 5, yay. And next is going to be Mount Hazard, and that's going to be the Silversaurus stage with all the hazards. So I'm gonna stop the video here and probably do this and probably just shoot this out in one giant video. If you guys want to skip this, then skip this, but I really recommend beginners to take a look. And just basically the main story of this video is, if you see damage walls, bring no damage wall monsters. You see gravity barriers, bring no gravity barrier monsters. Mines, flight or minesweepers, and warps, bring no warp monsters. And like I said, I'm going to use the resources from the game that gives from whatever the game gives me. So I'm not going to be co-oping. I am not. Why? The only co-op I'll do is the global co-op, and I won't get any help from my main accounts, sub accounts, or not be adding any friends. So everything is random, just like what a lot of beginners will start off with. So that's basically it. I hope you guys like this. Hope you guys enjoyed this series. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It might take months, it might take a few weeks, I don't know. It really depends on how far I get and how much time I have. So I hope you guys like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.